Hey, brothers and sisters from the StarkNet family. Thanks a lot for being here. This is Nurstar speaking, and I'm proud to welcome you to the founding episode of Shill Me Your Fundamentals, which is a Twitter Space series where we'll be exploring the promotional and marketing strategies that are being deployed by the different projects and communities that are building on StarkNet. And during the next weeks, I'll interview some of the most talented founders and marketing leads of the ecosystem to find out what they are doing to grow their own communities. And I'll ask them to pitch me their products in a convincing way. And they'll have to tell me the reasons why potential users should choose their products over the ones from their competitors. However, today is gonna be only a short introductory episode, and I wanted to make cut the inaugural red ribbon of the show by Luis from StarkWare, a very talented and charismatic figure of our community, and it will be represented StarkWare, which is obviously the Web3 software company that built the tech and community foundations of StarkNet. So let's welcome Luis. Hi, Luis. Welcome. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot for being here. So I will ask you an introductory question. I would like to know from you how the last years of preparing the ground and the tech for StarkNet felt like by working at Starker. Did you have fun? What is your view on the past, present, and possible future developments of the StarkNet ecosystem?
Sure. So that's a fantastic question. Like a bit of a year-long overview of what happened and why, and have we been successful, what have been successful at, and so on. So just very briefly, for those who are not familiar with StarkWare, with StarkNet, with me, with all of that. So I'm Louis. So Louis Gutmann. I'm the ecosystem lead at StarkWare. So been in crypto for over 6 years now. At StarkWare for over 3 years, and kind of what I've been focusing on in the past has always been sort of like ZK. Just a second. So, I've been focusing on since 2019 into zero knowledge, and I got starting to work at StarkWare in 2019 as a product manager. And for the last year, with the launch of StarkNet, we felt the need to have a team, a set of entities to have a direct chat with the community, with the ecosystem, with the builders, and make sure that as we were launching the new feature, the new tech, the new network, right? We would get all the feedback, all the intros, all the information we need from the builders themselves. And so that's what I've been working on since, and which has been mostly focusing on teaching about Cairo, teaching about StarkNet, why we do things the way we do, and try to help the most as I can all the project, the dev, and the infrastructure building around the project. So now, what happened over a year? So a year ago, we literally had close to nothing. Literally, I think at this date, a year ago, we had exactly one contract written in Cairo, written by someone who's not from StarkWare. I can tell who he was. He was called Stardrop. He was from Kobe Gurkhan, and he was a way to do anonymous airdrop. It was a long time ago. And then it was a long time ago. Then the second one was actually Scott Piriou, who now works at Snapshot, who took it and did anonymous voting. And then a couple of young early early community members starting to show up and do interesting things. Like I remember Perama, who was basically the thought leader of StarkNet for the first 7 months with the Perama's StarkNet nodes and all the help he was doing for the dop war and all of that, all the sort of things. And so over time, more and more community members starting to show up and do interesting projects. So at some point, we got I don't know, 100, 200, 300 active dev trying the tech, building on top of the tech, learning about it, and so on. And so what we kind of, I believe, get to a point where we managed to do the 0 to 1, meaning from no one caring about what we're doing to actually having a very strong core group of people who really care, really give us feedback, tell us when we suck, tell us when we're good, and we want to people we listen to and want to work with in the long run. So in retrospect, I would say the entire year was quite fascinating with a lot of very smart people just showing up out of curiosity and now building some of the coolest company I've seen in the space at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand right now.
That's amazing. Thanks, Luis. And congratulations on the fast results and achievements that you have reached during the last year. It's been amazing and very engaging also. And I would like to focus a bit on the product now, on the StarkNet scaling solution. And I would like you to imagine that I were a developer who or an entrepreneur, a blockchain entrepreneur who's deciding where to build which scaling solution to choose. And I would like to know why do you believe that developers and entrepreneurs should consider choosing StarkNet
Sure.
as their scaling solution over the other ones?
Sure. So there is a plenty of good reason, and I'm gonna sort of name a couple, right? So the first one is, I mean, if you've been into the space for long enough, and you let's say, imagine you are a dev that has been around for a long time. You already made it financially. You already had like quite some success in XYZ project, and so you are the type of person who are literally, as the meme say, in for the tech at this point, right? You already made your money. You're already there. You know about it, and so what's very appealing about StarkNet is that it is objectively, I mean, StarkNet, or more generally, ZK Rollup, right? I'm just talking about StarkNet as one example of that institution, right? Its own category of project. Then you are looking at something that is, technically speaking, the silver bullet of blockchain. Like, there is literally no way, or there is no, I mean, maybe there is in terms of concept, there is no better concept than zero knowledge proof, ZK rollup, to scale blockchain. Because on the tech side, on the tech level, it provides all the guarantee that you want for a blockchain to be secure. So blockchain has roughly two most important property, which are verifiable and it needs to be verifiable and trustless, right? So, I mean, trustlessness comes from verifiability to some extent, but basically, I need to be able to verify everything, and I need to be able to be verified everything in a decentralized way. What does it mean decentralized? It means on on as many machine and potentially the weakest machine possible. And so one of the biggest scalability issue we have right now, the very reason we have scalability issue right now is actually not because we don't know how to do better software, is because actually scalability is just on purpose. The issue Bitcoin has, the issue Ethereum has, is on purpose. Why? Because they are not targeting the same machine. Bitcoin is targeting a Raspberry Pi, which is like the cheapest computer you can find, roughly. Ethereum is basically targeting my 2021 M1 MacBook Pro, which is like a $2,500 machine. And Solana is targeting more like a $2,000 machine per month. And so you see the difference of scale that they achieve is mostly, at least in some great capacity, due to the different trust model, the different things that they care about, which is what machine you should target for, what machine you should think of when you're building a system. And so the thing is, which is very, very dumb today, or not dumb, but it's still the case, is that the network capacity, computing capacity, is limited by the weakest machine that we allow on the network. And so today on Bitcoin, you have people who have millions and tens of millions of dollars of ASIC, and the entirety of what they actually process as in terms of transaction could be done on the Raspberry Pi. Obviously, it's not. It's done over like a stronger machine, but it doesn't really matter what the machine itself could be a Raspberry Pi. And so this thing, this limitation due to the weakest point, is something that ZK rollup solved. ZKP solved by enabling to decouple computing power from, the miner from proof miners from verifiers. So when you have been here for a long time, when you're here for the tech for real, the tech itself is truly the best tech possible from by every potential angle. Now the instantiation of the tech can change. Maybe there is more performance. There is a different, the difference between Snark and Stark and so on. But at its core, the concept behind it is just like that good. So, but now that's actually not the reason why I tell to everyone, to most people, to join at this point, because those are the fundamental reason why you should join. That's the fundamental reason. But the side effect of the fundamental reason is it actually generates non-fundamental reason to join. And so what are the non-fundamental reasons? That because the people who are here for the tech are people who are so strongly, incentivized or strongly attached to the core principle, you have a bunch of people who are very caring, very deep into their knowledge, very good overall in what they want to do, what they do, and who they want to work with, right, in terms of collaboration. Yeah. And so working right now on StarkNet, with StarkNet project, building on top of Cairo, means that you join a community of extremely strong, dedicated, loving, active builders who are extremely good at collaboration. And that's what we're seeing all across this network, the StarkNet ecosystem right now. Collaboration going on from project to project all the time. On gaming, on DeFi, there you have this tiny group of extremely talented people who just want to work together. And so if you're a new dev and you just have the choice between, I don't know, building on Ethereum, which is a fantastic choice, by the way, or building on StarkNet, honestly, from the pure marketing and ecosystem perspective, it's actually a lot easier to emerge, to get on top in a very small and tiny ecosystem, and it needs to be in a more mature ecosystem because no one really will be pushing you because there's so many projects around. Let's imagine you're building on Ethereum and you want to do something with Aave, then the number of people who want to do things with Aave is very long. There is a very long list of people who want to do things with Aave. If you build on StarkNet and you want to work with, say, zkLand has a lot more bandwidth to work with you because there is maybe 3 or 4 people who are already actively working with them. So that's kind of where from a builder perspective, those strong technical principle brings strong marketing and ecosystem value because it creates a very organically growing and attaching ecosystem. And so just to summarize with what I just said with one quote that I like to say, that it's always better to be early than to be great, in the sense that being early in the ecosystem means a lot of pain because the tooling is not as great, the infrastructure is not always reliable, etc. But it means that you're going to grow with the ecosystem. And if the ecosystem grow, you're going to be successful with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Luis. And thanks a lot for such a clear and convincing answer. And also thanks a lot for highlighting also the benefits of being early in such a promising scaling solution like StarkNet. And right now, I would like to switch a bit towards the marketing side, which is the main focus of this show. And I would like to know, how do you see the overall marketing and the community building activities across the old projects on StarkNet? Do you like do you like them, and what you like in terms of branding, promotional and marketing practices in the space? Where and how we could be better in the future, and what we should avoid to do in the marketing field?
So that's a fantastic question. So as I said, the thing about the StarkNet ecosystem at this point, as I said, it's a lot of strong builders, sometimes who already made it in the past, and so they are very much in for the tech. Once again, it's a meme, but that's a meme that has some truth to it. And so the thing that tends to piss off a lot of people in the ecosystem right now is talking too much about the token of the project. The token is something that is obviously very important at some point down the line. It's not the selling point of your product. As a project, it's always better to talk about the PMF, getting PMF, product market fit, to get approval, to get people to care about what you're doing, than to make them care because of token. Token is cheap opium, and as you know, it gives you like a quick boost, but then you get addict, and so you probably don't want to get have an addict crowd which will turn on you the second the token will go down, because the token will go down at some point. Because if you don't have PMF, if you don't have a good product, you would just have spend a very bad night. And honestly, in this stage of the network, building um, anything will make you successful. So don't give yourself headaches by bringing too early a token that might not have any, might be poorly thought out just because you it's what people want. It's what people, that's what junkie want, and you don't want to appeal to junkies.
I see. I definitely agree with you, and also like in my contents, I always try to avoid the tokens part, which could be important in terms like when a project will launch the token, which will have like a utility. It would become an important technical feature of the project itself. But obviously, we shouldn't get too much shilling, in terms of tokens, and we need to focus on the product and on the fundamentals. And uh, well, for the time being, I actually finished with the questions for you. And before thanking you for having participated to this introductory episode of Show Me Your Fundamentals, I would like to add some reasons why I wanted to create this format. I did it because I wanted to raise awareness around the need for fundamentals driven promotional strategies in order to valorize the StarkNet solution, scaling solution, and its scaling powers in order to attract new users and builders to the space. In fact, we should remember also that we all know that the so-called scaling wars are coming, and the competition in the overall scaling space will be tough. And I really believe the StarkNet and also StarkX scaling engines, scaling solutions are the best scaling tech out there. And I think we need to try out our best in order to promote it in the best and more efficient way possible, in order to add additional value to the amazing technical work that all the developers at both StarkWare in terms of protocol infrastructure and at the other projects in terms of DApp level have been doing up to now. So I don't know if you would like to add something to this final
I
consideration.
mean,
And
yeah,
then,
like the a couple of things.
yeah.
There is something. I mean, something I want to say. No, I mean, it actually relates to marketing, but more like at the individual level. I always say to people, and this is very important for people to understand, which is that as a builder, as a dev, if you want to be successful, my advice is do not take yourself, the first thing you're going to build, too seriously. Uh, because the likelihood of you being right from the get go, that what you're going to build is actually the next big thing, is pretty low. What you want to do in an early stage ecosystem among this kind of community is build something cool, build something interesting, build something even dumb that will bring people to hear about you. And how you do that is by, taking anything that you find fun, implementing it, and posting about it, tweeting about it, make some communication about it. And the best way to get communication is, just whenever you do a tweet about something that could be interesting, to forward to the people that might find it interesting, like in personal message and so on, like myself, like I know, like the guy from Topology, if you're interested in gaming, like the guy from Matchbox, tagging the people that are relevant to your topic, because maybe they're going to find it interesting. And whenever you do this, and whenever you'll be surprised by how fast opportunity arrives to you. People will come to you, will ask you questions about the product, would ask you, can I collaborate with you, can I participate, and so on. And this is very impactful whenever you want to build your company, whenever you want to build your project. Do not fall in love with first ideas. Iterate, have fun, build dumb thing. Come to me, come to the community members, ask them questions, and be visible. So whenever you do something, someone would reach out to you.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Luis, I think this was an amazing episode, introductory episode, and it was like 20 minutes of incredible info. And I would like to thank you so much for taking some of your precious time to be here with us today. Thanks a lot, Luis. And I would like to thank all the guys who listened to the space. Thanks a lot for being here, and see you next week for the first episode of Shill Me Your Fundamentals. Thanks a lot, guys, and see you next week. Thanks, Luis.